it is time for a chat with Pat. We always look forward to a chat. And Pat, who have you got coming up?
Well, today we have Marge Fenelon, I think is the way you say it, Fenelon. Marge is an award-winning author, international speaker, and professional life coach. So she has written a lot of books on Marian devotion and Catholic spirituality. She's very passionate about helping others grow personally and spiritually. She has a podcast called Simply Holy, airs on many popular podcast platforms, and you can learn more about Marge at Marge Fenelon, FENELON.com. And we're going to be talking about an article that she wrote in the National Catholic Register called Seven Sorrows That Lead You Closer to Christ. Hi, Marge. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
It's good to have you with us, and especially on this topic, because obviously we celebrated the Feast of the Sorrowful Mother on September 15th, but the entire month of September is really dedicated to the Sorrowful Mother, and it's kind of the monthly devotion. So this article is certainly very timely. So I want you to kind of fill in our audience, first of all, to kind of remind them about what are the seven sorrows of Mary that we're talking about.
Oh, definitely. Well, I wanted to go out on another tangent, but it just, you can't get me to stop talking about the Blessed Mother. But what I wanted to say was that if you meditate on each one of these, it can take you in an entirely new direction in contemplating our Blessed Mother and her love for us.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that. Otherwise, I'll go on and on about each of them.
And we'll talk a little bit more.
Yeah. But here they are, and it's these are in chronological order, and we can imagine, if you will, to our listeners, just think in your head how you might react in a similar situation. So first is the prophecy of Simeon, when Simeon approached the Holy Family in the temple when they were consecrating Jesus to God, and he gives the Blessed Mother some very stark news. He says, a sword will pierce your own soul. So it's the first taste, the first hint for our Blessed Mother that her life as Jesus' mother would be marked by pain. Then after that is the flight to Egypt. They have to take off and go to an unknown place with unknown variables to save the life of Jesus, because Herod had ordered that every newborn boy would be slaughtered. So they needed to run and save him. After that, they lose him in the temple, the loss of Jesus in the temple. And, you can think, he was God, but think of it from a very human standpoint of losing your son. Any parent who has had a situation where their child has gotten lost, I think, can begin to imagine the agony of St. Joseph and our Blessed Mother. 3 days they searched for him.
Oh, that had to be scary.
I just can't even. I can't imagine because it was a high holy feast and the crowds.
Yep.
Where is he?
Yep.
So, and thank God they did find him.
Yeah.
After that, Mary, as we move into the life, past the ministry of Jesus and into his final days, that we celebrate. Well, yeah, I guess so. You can celebrate because she's our loving mother, and she went through these sorrows for our sake.
Right.
Mary meets Jesus on the way of the cross. Now, it's not specifically mentioned in the Bible, but we know that happened. Yeah. We know that she accompanied him throughout his entire life and never left his side. And so here she is, she's watching her son bloodied, beaten, and carrying this heavy cross up the hill of Calvary. She can't do a thing about this. All she can do is watch and follow along as best she can. After that, of course, Jesus dies on the cross. And where is Mary? She's right at the foot of the cross. And she's there watching his agony suffering with him, and some would say it was a white martyrdom in the sense that, no, she did not physically suffer, but because of her tremendous love, first of all, for Jesus as her son, and then as her God, this kind of suffering had to have been absolutely profound.
Right.
To watch him breathe his final death. And after that, the sixth sorrow is that she receives the body of Jesus. My mind doesn't even go there, Pat, in terms of what would it be like to have your dead child laid in your arms and have to hold your own child who has been not just passed away. I mean, I imagine many of us know someone who has lost a child to some kind of accident. But here is this child. Yes, he was a grown man, but it was still her child. And in this his body, there's not much left of it because of the blood and the suffering. And it's late. She's holding her dead son, her slaughtered son, the lamb who is slaughtered. So he's laid in her arms. And then finally he's laid in the tomb. And, part of me says, well, this isn't so bad because he's at peace now and he's no longer suffering physically. But on the other hand, this is a separation. Yeah. She can't even see him. Once the tomb is closed, she can't see him, at least for those 3 days until the resurrection. And so there's that ultimate parting between mother and son, and that feeling
Marge,
of finality and desolation.
Marge, I want to get to this. Why is it so important for us to meditate on these sorrows of Mary?
Oh, absolutely. It's important because it's not a way to a day to wallow in grief, or a month for the month of September, but rather it's a way to connect with the Blessed Mother, to connect with her and to look into her example for us, and also her special role in our redemption. All of that suffering was for us. And she said yes to God's plan at every single agonizing step of every one of those sorrows. She teaches us perseverance and faith. And she never gave up. She never wavered in her faith, no matter how bad it got. And we can look to her and learn from her. And then finally we can look to her as the comforter of the afflicted, which is one of her titles in the Litany of Loretto. She experienced the absolute deepest human sorrow that any human being can ever have. And she uses that sorrow for good, for our good, to help us in our grief and our pain and our heartbreak.
Yeah, that was wonderful, Marge. And I think this is, it's a great article, and I agree with you. I think you could just spend forever meditating on each one of these sorrows to bring them to prayer. And so thanks so much for being with us today, Marge. I really appreciate it. Have a good week ahead.
Thanks, you too.